So I was working at this steel plant one time and staying at this place called the City Motor Court. It was night shift, so it was dark by the time I went to work, and one night when I was going down the stairs, I could see through the corner of my eye in one of the rooms there was a light flickering or something. So I went a little further, and there was this woman. She looked like a cat woman. She came out of the room and she threw some luggage and some laundry on the sidewalk, and I looked in the room and I could see that one of her beds were on fire. And I said, "Lady, why don't you call the fire department or something?" And she just looked at me and she said, "Oh, those mattresses are so dry." So I ran into the courtyard and I got a fire extinguisher and emptied it out on the bed, but it wasn't enough. And there was a kid helping me gather up fire extinguishers, and it took about 4 or 5. And by then I could see the lady that owned the motel, and she come up to me and she looked at me all covered in white baking soda from the fire extinguishers, and she said, "You, get out of here." And I said, "What do you mean get out? I just stopped your motel from burning." Then she looked at the cat woman and she said, "Who are you?" And the cat woman said, "I rented the room from you, don't you remember?" And the lady said, "No, I don't." Then Catwoman reaches down and picks up a blonde wig and puts it on her head and says, "Yes, you did."
Weren't you convicted of burning down the city motor court?
Yeah, that was a few years later. One time I rented this room just outside of Oshawa, and it was winter time, and the room was really cold. I looked around and all I could see was this little baseboard heater about 2 feet long. So I called down to the Vietnamese guy at the desk. I said, "Hey, you got any rooms with heat?" He said, "You want heat? $20 more." One of the counselors at the institution suggested that I take up welding, as that might help with my need to start fires.
I think the Mike Dargy fight was the worst trouble I had. He attacked me coming home from the bar one night. Anyway, it was a horrible mess with authorities got involved, and there I was off again to the nut house. I was just defending myself, and I don't know why defending yourself gives you a one-way ticket to the nut house. I don't know. I escaped in 78. I escaped in 79. I escaped in 75 actually because in a sense, like I was hiding, they couldn't find me, but I didn't escape really. I was hiding right there. But I escaped in 2013, 2002 I escaped. Basically every time I go there I escape. hospital, man. What are the chairs? Chairs like that. So anyways, I decided I had to escape. And I had been watching the one door for the last 3 days, and I seen the staff go using this other door to leave the unit. But the one door, of course, is locked where the smokers all go through. But they assumed that all the patients didn't realize that that door was open. So this one day, it was a really beautiful sunny day. In the summertime, I made my getaway. And I went right through that door. And at first I went the wrong way. I went to the left, and I got mixed up in all this construction equipment and that. And so then I had to go turn around and go down the hallway, and I'm looking over my shoulder all the time because I think that they're going to sound the alarm any time. Later I found out that they didn't sound the alarm until 12 hours later. I'm going to go in now.
Come on in.
Oh, okay. Sold by Kamikaze Sports in Collingwood, one of the finest sporting stores in the neighborhood. And here's another thing the dog is good for. Come here, Chop. Come on, get the bottle. Get the bottle. Atta boy. Good boy. Now give it to me. Give it to me, Buzz. Give it here. Come on, buddy. Come on. Chop.
Hi, my name is Wesley Bernstein. I just got out of the mental health center, well, it was quite some time ago, and I've been taking my spiritual advice from my friend here, Mr. Egglamp. He always gives me good advice. But sometimes, oh, you want me to tell him that? Well, on the spiritual side, he told me to tell you that you always must refer to the Bible, King James Version preferably, or the Tibetan Book of the Dead.
Yeah, Elder Pavilonis, he pulled off a really funny escape. What he did was he watched Paul Henry, the psychologist, get up every morning at 6 a.m. and take patients out for water skiing. And he spied that rope that he had that was like 100 feet long, and one night he stole it. And now that he had a rope, he decided he was going to escape. So he ended up going outside the window in front of 3 other guys, and he finally froze on the wall, and they had the spotlight on him and everything, and they were begging him to come back in, and he was caught in between floors, but they have ledges so you can stand on him, so he was okay. But he ended up going down the second to the second window, and they finally dragged him in. But the only reason why they found out that he was going out the window was because there was a patient on the lowest level seeing this rope come bouncing down and out the window. So he went and got the staff and said, "What's with that rope there?" And so that's how they backtracked and found out that Albert was scaling the wall.
Oh, that means yes.
Dave, how'd you get here?
What do you mean how I get here? I took that cab that's just leaving.
So you escaped from Penetang again?
Oh yeah, I escaped. Yeah, I went out. I found a door that was open. Everybody was always going out through the smoking door, which is locked. But then no, I watched the staff for like 3 days in a row. They were going through this other door, and this one day I just slipped through that and called up a handicapped cab, and here I am.
So that's a good way of dealing with anger management that they taught me at the mental health center. Another way, if you got hostilities, I'm telling you, this is a great way of doing it. I've did it myself. It's the epitome of good. You pull out a gun and say, "Hi, my name's Al Pacino. Say hello to my little friend." And have an Al Pacino mask on. What are you doing?
Dave, you're manic. No. And you go, well, why? I said, I just got married.
And
Well,
I wasn't
why?
the best man. And I wasn't the best man again.
Yeah, so it's my girlfriend. She's were departed from because of colon problems, and so I've had to put myself out to find other needs from my passion and that. So I went to Passion and Kisses in Collingwood. That's a website, and it's a store, I should say. And I found this beautiful Asian love doll named Chelsea. I wrote a song about her. It goes, Chelsea, you're so close to my heart. Anyways, I took her home and introduced all my friends, and they proceeded to lay a beating on her. I felt pretty pissed off about that, because it's like, I bought it so I could learn how to treat a woman better.
They wanted Wes to watch, but I had to do it without Wes knowing, because if he would have found out, he probably would have wanted some of the money, because I got a couple $100 for renting her out to the one guy, but that guy is a real sicko.
I would think if I was a judge and magistrate, or the jury for that matter, I would convict the guy for assaulting another person's property.
I thought, no, that's not a good idea, because if Wes found out, he'd freak right out and probably have to take the doll back and exchange it for another one, because this guy got all his dirty paws on her, and that's a limited edition for Wes.
Yeah, get one that can fight
He's the
back.
only one that has that kind of doll. He actually thinks that she speaks to him when he's on
He's on
LSD
LSD.
and the peyote trips and
That's
eating
what
the
I guess you're gonna
mushrooms.
know Taekwondo.
But I hate
How
to
to
say
swear.
it, I've never heard her say a word.
I told him that they had let me out, and he was visiting me on the weekend, and that I was let out for the weekend, and I could leave with him. So I just drove right out of there with my uncle in the pickup truck. That's another time I escaped. And these places are pretty easy to escape from, as long as once they get levels of trust with you, they'll let you wander the grounds and that. And it's not like they're surrounded by 12-foot high barbed wire. You can walk out.
Keep me here with locks and keys, and no one comes to visit me. There's fear inside the warden's fridge. My ride is waiting on the bridge. I'm escaping from the nut house. I saved the spoon from my last meal. The guard will find out how it feels. I sharpened it by candlelight. I'll see him in the hall tonight. I'm escaping from the night.